We were started in 1892. So we've been doing this for a really long time. We've been making small business loans to New Yorkers, um, started with people who were selling stuff off of push carts, and now it's really everything. Our last small business loans committee, we made a loan to a pizzeria, we made a loan to a nail salon shop, we made a loan to a guy who does charter fishing trips out in Jamaica Bay. We made a loan to a daycare business. We really, it sort of spans the spectrum. And I want to give you a few basics about our lending and how we do it and what the terms are. And then I'm just going to turn it over to you and have you ask any questions that you might have. So first thing I want to say is that our small business loans are usually in the $25,000 to $50,000 range. But if you have a need for a smaller loan, if what you need is really sort of quick, $7,500 or less, our general needs program is available for 0% interest loans for any purpose. I'm going to really talk about the small business loans, but you should check out our website at hfls.org. That's the Hebrew Free Loan Society.org. And you'll see that we have college loans, we have general needs loans, we have loans for uncovered medical expenses. We have loans for people who are trying to bring kids into their family and need some help with financing either adoption costs or medical intervention costs. And really, basically, our mission is to make sure that lower income New Yorkers have access to safe and affordable credit. And when we say safe, we mean that there is no interest clock that is going to start ticking on your loan and you're going to wind up owing more and more and more because there is no interest. We charge no fees and no interest because that's our mission as a nonprofit lender. And when we say affordable, okay, so the government had some loans where you borrow money and you don't actually have to pay it back. That's not us. But we are the most affordable that you can get when you still have to pay back the loan, which is never any fees and never any interest. You just pay us back what you borrow at a pace that you can afford to pay it back. So we lend to all kinds of businesses. It can be a startup. It can be an established business. We lend for all kinds of purposes. It can be for working capital. It can be for growth. It can be to buy equipment or whatever. And the criteria that we have that you have to satisfy are basically four things. One is you have to live in either New York City, Westchester County, or Long Island. Any of those places, we're going to be able to do business with you. You also have to be either low or moderate income, and that's defined according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development on our website in the section about our loans. We just have the numbers there. And if your annual income is within those limits, we will be able to make a loan to you. We don't like to lend to people who have no income whatsoever because the loan is not really a good idea for them because they can't pay back a loan. And because we're a charitable organization and we try to point our resources to the people who need it the most, there's a limit on income. So if you're, super rich and you can get a bank loan, then you should go to a bank. But for the rest of everyone, there's us. We also require that you have a business plan and some cash flow projections. And we're going to want to look at how you're intending to make money over the course of the term of the loan. And the reason that we do that is not because, it's Shark Tank or anything. We want to make sure that when we lend to people, they're taking on a significant obligation. Somebody takes out a $50,000 loan. We want to make sure that they have a business plan that makes sense so that they don't wind up with a failed business and also debt. So it's really more trying to make sure that we're advancing people's financial situation and, not winding up dragging them down inadvertently. Traditionally, we do not really look at the credit history of our borrowers. That's not how we make decisions about how to lend. We also don't really typically ask for collateral. What we do is we ask people who borrow from us to find someone in their life who can serve as a guarantor. Guarantor is somebody who will agree to take on your debt if you fail to pay the debt, right? And this is very often a family member or a coworker or a neighbor, someone who believes in you and will take on the real actual responsibility of if for some reason you don't pay, they will pay. Now, I'll tell you that we make about 1,500 loans a year. We've got $25 million of loans in our portfolio. We almost never collect any money from guarantors. It's because people are very accountable to their guarantors. They don't want to leave their mother-in-law or their next door neighbor or whoever it is paying off the loan. So we work out a plan. Even if you hit some trouble along the way, all you have to do is call us up and say, this is what happened and I need to lower my monthly payment for the next 2 months, and we will work with you and try to make sure you do that. Why? Because our mission is to help people stabilize and grow financially. Our mission is not to make money off of our loans. Our mission is not to, sort of insist that people follow a plan that is no longer relevant to them because of changed circumstance. We really want to work with our borrowers. So that is, those are the basics of our lending. I will say that we do have some funds available for small business owners who have a really good business, need a loan, fit all our criteria, but cannot find any guarantors. Those are usually loans of $25,000 or less, not the $50,000 loans. But if you think, I don't know who in the world would be a guarantor for me, I'm definitely not gonna be able to find somebody like that. It's not right now an obstacle for us. We should still talk to you to see whether whether our loan is a good fit for your need. So I'm going to stop there and see if people have any questions about what I said. It was a lot of facts. We will send you an info sheet about our small business lending afterwards. So if there's anything that you didn't catch, you can get it from the info sheet. But honestly, the best way to get the information is to go to our website and click in the loans under small business loan, and everything that you would want to know, including the application, the link to the online application is right there. So what questions can I answer for you?
Hi, David. My name is Anthony from Custom Collaborative. Nice to meet you. Thank you
Hi,
so much for
Anthony.
being here. I have a couple of questions from the audience. One question is, are you able to help provide with business plans, or can you refer our participants to getting the help they need with developing business plans, as we know that's such an important piece of
Yep.
potentially getting investment?
It's a great question. And we work very closely with Small Business Services of New York City. They have free help with creating a business plan, and we can connect you directly to the person who we work with who serves your area. And that's usually the way that we suggest that people work on developing a business plan. We don't do it directly, but we can connect you with somebody who will help you with that.
Thank you. And then another question is, typically, what are your timeframes for repayment plans, or do they really differ depending on how much the amount is that they're seeking?
It differs really on what the purpose of the loan is. So for instance, if you're buying an oven for your bakery, we're going to treat that like an installment loan. And if the oven costs, $20,000, maybe it'll pay us back, $1,000 for 20 months or $500 for 40 months. And we'll figure out based on your business plan, how much can you afford to pay back? And we'll do it based on that. If you're buying inventory and you're going to turn the inventory like 3 times within the space of a year, we will figure out what the term of the loan should be based on your need for the inventory and how much you're going to be able to use it within a span of time. I will say, however, that typically the terms of our loans are 2 to 3 years. They can be as short as 1 year. They can be as long as 5 years. It really will depend on the purpose of your loan and your projections about revenue. I do want to say one thing that I'm very excited to share with you, which is we recently launched a loan where the amount that you pay is connected to your monthly revenues. And so if you have a slow month, your debt payment will go down. And if you have a great month, your debt payment will go up, but you can afford it because you just had a great month. And essentially, it helps you to manage the volatility of the business year. And especially now when, things are shutting down and starting back up and there's all kinds of like confusion, it can help to structure the repayment in that way. Most debt contracts are just like, you owe me $1,500 a month. That's never going to change. I don't really care if you had a bad month or if you had a good month. And okay, so people agree to that because that's how debt contracts are structured. But we are trying to figure out how can we be more helpful to the business owners who are trying to manage all of these things. And we came up with a revenue-based financing model. So if you go with us to your point of sale provider, to your credit card processor, and ask them if we can have privileges to look into your monthly revenues from the point of sale provider, then we can set up revenue-based financing for your loan.
Thank you. That's super helpful. And we're getting a lot of feedback that your website is also a great resource with all of this information for us to reference as well.
I'll say another couple of things if there aren't any immediate questions, and then maybe some more questions will come up. Our loans are available regardless of citizenship status. So if that is relevant piece of information for anybody, you should know that. The guarantors for our loans, we do ask the guarantors be either permanent residents, that is green card holders, or citizens, but the business owners don't need to be. What else can I tell you?
Well, I have a quick question, David. I would love to know, we know how banks work in America and they're for-profit enterprises. And I was just so interested to know and curious, how do you make money? I mean, it seems like a very altruistic
Yes.
path. You've been around for a number of years helping business. How do you generate revenue to keep this money in the coffers to kind of give out to people who need them and then create flexible spending return plans for them? How do you do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're a charitable organization. And so like most charitable organizations that you're familiar with, we solicit donations from people who care about what we do. So for 130 years in New York City, people have wanted there to be a resource for lower income people who can't afford commercial credit offers, right? Like, so you could probably get a credit card and it's 25% APR. So you have credit, but it's really costly. And there are even higher interest rates for other kinds of like online loans or so this has been an issue for a really long time. And in 1892, a bunch of immigrants who themselves had started businesses and also noticed that there are a lot of other immigrants coming into the city, said, how can we help people? And they started this model of the interest-free loan fund. So one answer to your question is very wonderful, generous donors every year contribute enough money for us to pay our staff and keep the lights on. However, there's another pool of money that we also have to raise, which is the money that we lend out to people, right? So if we want to grow our lending, we have to figure out where is this money coming from? And part of the answer, again, is the amazing, generous donors of New York City have provided us with, over time, a lot of money. And because our repayment rate is so high and that money does not disappear, unlike most nonprofits where somebody gives them $100,000 and then the nonprofit spends $100,000 and it's gone, our way of putting money out is in loans. And so the money comes back to us. So we can use it again so that the money circulates and we don't have very many losses from default. So we're able to continue to circulate it. And then on top of that, people are every year providing us with capital gifts. And this may surprise you, but we borrow money. We find people willing to lend us money at 0%, so we can turn around and lend that money out at 0%. And that's been one way that we've been able to make sure that as demand grows for our lending, we can keep up with it because we've got enough money from either contributions or loans that we've taken out to provide the capital needed for our own loans.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Was a great comprehensive answer. And I appreciate that context. I think it helps all of us because we're, those who aspire to own business and support their business. I think it's a great heritage that this money's coming from and a community. So that's helpful to see the legacy that's been built on immigrants, right? People who saw the need and have supported it yearly. So I'm grateful for that answer. Are there any other questions that we have before we let our guests go?
I had a question. Do people have to be citizens of the US in order to get loans?
Right. They do not have to be citizens. That's not a requirement for our borrowers. It is a requirement for guarantors. So that's the way we have it set up currently. And hopefully people who are, whatever their citizenship status is, they should feel free to come to us and have a conversation about a loan. We, are frequently making loans to people who are citizens, who are not citizens, who are permanent residents. We are happy to have all those people come and talk to us about lending.
Thank you. That's great to know.
All right, well, here's my hope. My first hope is that if you have a need for a small business loan, that among the things that you are considering, Hebrew Free Loan Society should be something that's now on your radar screen. If you want to talk to the director of our small business lending program, I will pop his name into the chat here. His name is Shlomo Haft, and you can get to him by emailing him at biz, at hfls.org. There you go. And one of the ways that you can figure out whether this might be a good fit or not is to just have an initial conversation with Shlomo. He's happy to just talk with you about your business model. If you need a connection to small business services to actually write up your business model, he can help you with that. So he's standing by hoping that you will call. The second thing I hope is that if you borrow from us or if you don't borrow from us, that your business succeeds, and it succeeds so much that you can be a donor to us, because this is really like the only way that that we are able to function, is that people who appreciate what we do pay it forward. We have tons of former borrowers in our donor community, and it is just such a pleasure when we see that people have gotten to the point where they feel like they want to give back, and they're doing that in part through the Hebrew Free Loan Society. So I didn't mean to give a pitch for my organization. You should concentrate first on your business. But what I wish for you is so much success that you do eventually think about yourselves as people who are supporting community institutions that make it possible for this kind of thing to happen.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's good for us to hear pitches, right? Because we have to practice our own pitches and just to know it's okay to do. So thank you. Other questions and thoughts before David leaves us?
My question is, when is the best time to contact your organization, Mr. Rosenn?
So you can email Shlomo at any time, day or night. He's very responsive. He'll get back to you quickly. Like many organizations, we're all working remote. So If you
Okay.
call on the phone, you're going to get the answering machine. And so I would suggest either you can start to fill out and send in an application from the website, or better, before you put all that time and effort into the application, email Shlomo, say that you're interested in arranging for a conversation, and he will send you back some times when he's available, and you can start off with a quick phone call to see if it's the right thing for you.
Thank you. And my next question is, if I already have a business plan, can I still have a person in your organization who could who can look at it and make suggestion and possibly develop another plan?
Absolutely. One of the things that Shlomo is really good at is asking you questions about the business plan. Because what he wants to do is take your loan to the committee that approves these loans and have them say, yes, absolutely, this is a great loan, we approve. And he doesn't like it when they say, wait a minute, what about this? What about that? Why didn't you ask about that? So he's going to ask you questions, and he's going to work with you on your business plan until it seems to him like it's very strong enough so that when he brings it to the committee, everybody will look at it and understand why this is a business worth investing in.
Thank you so much for helping answering that. Bye-bye now.
All right, everybody. I really want to thank you for the time to tell you about our organization. I wish you a lot of luck with your business ventures, and if we can be of help to you, I hope you'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great.
All right. I'm going to sign
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. This has been super helpful. Appreciate this.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm out of here.
Okay. Good to see everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Short and sweet.
Question. This was a workshop today for 2 to